Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving into a story that is it's a deeply emotional journey. We're talking about a man named Abdul Karim. Just imagine for a second waking up pitch black outside, way before the sun, working the dirt until your bones literally ache, only to get to the end of the year and find your pockets are still completely empty, right? It's heartbreaking. But this isn't just some dry case study on farming. No way. It is a massive testament to relentless hard work, pushing through crushing doubt, and honestly, the sheer power of human persistence. Keep the word architect in mind as we go through this today, because Karim didn't just grow crops, he literally engineered a brand new life from the ground up, against some seriously staggering odds.
All right, let's start with Section 1, Abdul Karim's hard struggle.
So Abdul Karim started out with almost nothing. We're talking a tiny plot of land, just 2 bighas, and a single cow. That's it. Every single day he'd be up at the crack of dawn, breaking his back with traditional farming, and yet the profit at the end of the year, practically zero. And on top of that heavy financial burden, there was this crushing weight of isolation. You see, his own neighbors didn't just ignore him, they actually mocked him. They tell him no one can ever get rich by farming like this. I mean, poverty's hard enough on its own, right? But being laughed at while you're literally trying your absolute hardest, that adds a deep, stinging kind of loneliness. But spoiler alert, despite all that mockery, Karim absolutely refused to give up.
Which brings us to Section 2, the brave decision of change. Okay, let's dive into this, because sometimes just one single moment can completely alter your lifetime. For Karim, that light bulb moment happened down at the local market. He suddenly saw this stark contrast between his old reality and a potential new vision. Instead of sticking with traditional rice farming, which as we know had terrible profit margins, he pictured something entirely different, growing tomatoes, chilies, and cucumbers for way higher profits. Now look, hearing about a cool modern method is one thing, but actually gathering the guts to pivot your entire livelihood when you have zero margin for error, that is something else entirely. He took a massive, calculated risk and stepped right away from a broken tradition.
But, as you probably guessed, innovators are rarely celebrated at the start. His neighbors were just like, what's the point of taking such a risk? And they didn't just ask, they laughed at him, even harder than before. When Karim actually made the switch in his crops, the doubt and the mockery in the village just compounded. The emotional stakes skyrocketed here. Let me tell you, it is an incredibly lonely place to be when literally everyone around you is totally convinced that your attempt to better your life is just some foolish, doomed gamble. But Karim didn't back down. Let's look at Section 3, Persistence and New Technology.
Instead of letting the laughter get to him, Karim doubled down. With practically zero savings and his back completely against the wall, his determination just turned fierce. He rolled out this fascinating 4-step strategy to revolutionize his farm. First, he took out a small loan. Talk about adding financial pressure, right? But he needed that capital. Second, and honestly, I find this part absolutely incredible, he turned to the internet. He literally learned modern farming methods by watching YouTube videos. Just a phenomenal willingness to adapt. Third, he started applying organic fertilizers, really committing to sustainable practices. And fourth, the daily, unrelenting care for his crops. This wasn't magic. It was a proactive, persistent daily grind fueled by an absolute unwavering belief in his new vision.
And all of that incredible grit brings us to Section 4, New Horizons of Success.
Okay, this is the moment where those crazy early alarms, the grueling labor, the massive financial risks, and all that painful isolation finally aligned. The seeds he planted literally and figuratively broke through, culminating in one really powerful number: 3. In just his very first year of using these modern farming methods, Karim's profit equaled the combined total of his previous 3 years of labor. Wow, let that sink in for a second. 3 years of backbreaking, traditional misery totally matched in a single innovative season. It was a staggering, triumphant breakthrough. Suddenly, the laughter of the villagers was met with undeniable, cold hard cash and tangible results.
But the best part? Karim wasn't satisfied with just one lucky harvest. Not at all. Looking at his timeline, you can see how this vision snowballed into an absolute empire. He took those initial profits and immediately poured them right back into the business. Moving into year 2 and beyond, he leased more land, he installed modern drip irrigation systems to squeeze out every drop of efficiency, and instead of letting middlemen take a cut, he started trucking his crops and selling them directly to the big city markets. Through this relentless, non-stop momentum, Abdul Karim transformed into a major agricultural supplier. We're talking about an exponential growth curve driven purely by ambition and hard work.
Which brings us to our final, and honestly, perhaps the most moving chapter of his story. Section 5. Contribution to the community.
You know, success often changes people, but what truly defines Kareem is how his success changed the world around him. There's this beautiful, heartwarming irony here. Those exact same villagers who once pointed fingers and laughed at him, yeah, they started walking right up to his door, asking for advice. And the amazing thing is, Kareem didn't turn a single one of them away. His ultimate triumph went way beyond just getting rich. He started employing local youth, creating real jobs where there literally were none. He even opened a brand new agricultural training center so other folks wouldn't have to scrape the internet for YouTube videos like he did. And most touchingly of all, he provided interest-free seeds to poor farmers. He basically became the safety net that he never had. He didn't build a massive wall to protect his success, he just built a longer table.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with one vital question to chew on. What could be the new harvest in your life? Abdul Kareem's story is this profound emotional journey of a guy who looked at his bleak reality, completely ignored the mockery of the crowd, took a terrifying calculated risk, and totally rewrote his destiny. So think about it. What outdated traditions or tired routines are you holding on to just out of fear? What modern methods, new ideas, or maybe even scary pivots are just waiting for your persistence and hard work to unlock them? Take a page out of Kareem's book today. The soil of your life is waiting. What are you going to plan next?